Welcome back to Buy or Buy. Today we're looking at the 2023 to 2026 Chevrolet Colorado, the truck the whole automotive press fell in love with when it was redesigned. It drives beautifully, it outtows and outtorques its rivals, and the ZR2 is the most capable mid-sized off-roader you can buy. But there's a catch that keeps it out of buy territory. Its reliability. This one's a maybe. A superb driving, class-leading torque, mid-sized truck with a brilliant off-roader in the lineup, held back by below-average reliability. This one's a maybe. Today, we are completely bypassing the internet rumors to focus purely on the verified mechanical realities of this truck. We're going to look at the exact hardware that makes it tick, verify its standout capabilities, and examine its specific diagnostic profile. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our diagnostic roadmap for today. We'll be covering 1. Powertrain and capability specs. 2. The 8L45 transmission shutter. 3. ZR2 suspension and leaks. And finally, 4. Direct injection carbon buildup. Let's get started. Section 1. Powertrain and capability specs, the headline numbers. Right under the hood, this generation features a remarkably robust powertrain. We're talking about the 2.7-liter L3B turbo inline-4 engine, which pushes out a highly impressive 310 horsepower. Now, what's genuinely fantastic about this specific block, which was introduced to the Colorado lineup back in 2023, is that it actually shares its architecture with the full-size Chevrolet Silverado. What does that mean for you? Well, it means you're getting full-size truck engine technology and durability engineered directly into a mid-size platform. That is 310 horsepower built to absolutely take a beating. But look, horsepower is really only half the story when it comes to trucks. It's the torque figure that truly defines the Colorado's character. A massive 430 pound-feet of torque. Let me just say that again so it sinks in. 430 pound-feet. In the mid-size truck segment, that is literally a powerhouse figure. This translates to serious, verifiable real-world capability. Whether you're accelerating up a tight highway on-ramp, navigating a steep, rocky off-road incline, or just getting a really heavy load moving from a dead stop, that tremendous torque does the heavy lifting effortlessly. It completely changes the driving dynamics of the vehicle. And all of that power and torque directly feeds into a phenomenal metric: a 7,700-pound maximum towing capacity when it's properly equipped. I really want to emphasize this specific number, because 7,700 pounds is a massive deal in this class. It serves as undeniable proof of the truck's exceptional utility and structural engineering. The frame, the braking system, the intensive thermal cooling, and that 2.7-liter turbo all work in perfect harmony to achieve a tow rating that confidently leads the midsize pack. You're basically getting near full-size capability in a totally garage-friendly footprint. Chevy brilliantly packages all that capability across the entire lineup. We have the WT for the job site, the LT for daily driving, the classic Z71, the ZR2, and the Trail Boss. A key takeaway here is that the Trail Boss trim was introduced specifically for this third generation, giving you a highly capable mid-tier off-road option without having to step all the way up to the flagship ZR2. Also notice the body styles. You have extended cab and crew cab configurations across the board. If you're hunting for a regular single cab Colorado in this generation, no way, you won't find one. They simply aren't offered. Bottom line, this is a masterclass in mid-size truck capability, packaging full-size power into a highly functional lineup. Section 2. The 8L45 transmission shutter, symptoms and solutions. Now that we've established the impressive macro-level capabilities, let's look at a very specific quirk you absolutely need to know about. The transmission paired with that robust 2.7-liter engine is the 8L45 8-speed automatic. A known diagnostic reality with this unit is the 8L45 transmission shutter. By definition, this is a vibration originating specifically from the torque converter clutch. It's actually worth noting that this mechanical symptom is a shared family trait with General Motors' much larger 8L90 transmission, which you'll find in their heavy-duty full-size trucks and SUVs. So it's a very well-documented engineering quirk across the platform. Drivers consistently report that this shutter feels exactly like driving over highway rumble strips, except, you're perfectly centered in your lane. It typically happens at a steady cruising speed, usually when you're just feathering the throttle and the torque converter clutch is trying to lock up or slip slightly to maximize your fuel economy. We use this exact quote because it helps prospective and current owners immediately recognize and empathize with the symptom. If your truck starts doing this on a smooth highway, you aren't imagining things, your tires aren't out of balance, and your suspension isn't falling apart. But hey, we want to approach this with a problem-solution mindset, right? The fix for this is well-documented and highly effective. Step 1 is properly identifying that the vibration is indeed coming from the torque converter, rather than a tire issue. Step 2 is performing a complete transmission fluid exchange. And step 3, which is absolutely the most critical part of this entire process, is utilizing GM's updated fluid specification Mobile 1 LV-ATF-HP synthetic fluid. This updated fluid has specific friction modifiers that act as a silver bullet, resolving the clutch shudder in the vast majority of cases without ever requiring a mechanical rebuild. Bottom line, the transmission shudder is annoying, for sure, but it is a highly diagnosable issue with a proven, straightforward fluid fix. Section 3. ZR2 suspension and leaks. The cost of capability. The absolute crown jewel of the ZR2 trim is its suspension, specifically the Multimatic DSSV shocks. DSSV stands for Dynamic Suspension Spool Valve. Instead of the traditional deflective shims you'd find in standard shock absorbers, these dampers use precision-machined spool valves to provide position-sensitive fluid control. In plain terms, this highly impressive suspension technology allows the ZR2 to soak up brutal, extreme off-road impacts without bottoming out, while simultaneously delivering surprisingly smooth and refined ride quality on your daily commute. It is legitimate race truck engineering bolted right onto a factory pickup. However, there is a hidden maintenance reality attached to this premium hardware. While they are incredibly capable, these complex shocks are prone to developing seal leaks over time, or especially under heavy, sustained off-road use. When those internal seals degrade and the highly pressurized fluid is lost, the vehicle's ride quality degrades right along with it, becoming harsh, bouncy, and totally uncontrolled. It's a mechanical reality that high-performance off-road parts wear out when you use them as intended. You're trading standard longevity for extreme capability, and the seals are simply the weakest link in that extreme environment. So the crucial point here is understanding the financial reality of this wear and tear. When a DSSV shock leaks, it generally cannot be rebuilt. It needs to be completely replaced. And because these are highly specialized precision components, replacement costs sit at approximately $500 to $800 per shock. And yeah, that is just for the part, before you even pay for the labor and alignment installation. We're pointing this out not to scare you away, but to anchor an abstract mechanical issue to a tangible financial reality so you can budget appropriately. Bottom line, the ZR2 gives you world-class off-road suspension, but you absolutely have to budget for the premium replacement costs when those seals eventually give out. Verdict? Maybe. And to understand why this truck requires you to buy with your guard up, let's look at our final section. Section 4. Direct injection carbon buildup, the hidden maintenance. To really understand this, we have to look deep inside the engine and compare the two primary fuel delivery methods. In an older port injection system, fuel is sprayed directly into the intake manifold, meaning the pressurized fuel spray actively washes over the back of the intake valves on its way into the cylinder, basically keeping them squeaky clean. However, the Colorado uses direct injection. Here, fuel is sprayed directly into the combustion chamber, completely bypassing the intake valves. Because there is no fuel acting as a solvent, the standard oil vapors from the engine's crankcase eventually bake onto the back of those dry intake valves, allowing stubborn carbon deposits to form over time. Breaking down the realities of this system. Yes, you get direct fuel delivery to the cylinder, which vastly improves your horsepower, torque, and overall efficiency. It's exactly why the 2.7-liter makes such incredible power. But without that valve washing effect, carbon deposits absolutely will accumulate on the intake valves as the miles pack on. What you need to take away from this is that this isn't an engineering defect or a failure of the engine. It is simply an expected, long-term maintenance item for modern efficiency. Once you hit higher mileage, the engine is probably going to require a periodic mechanical cleaning, often called walnut blasting, just to restore its optimal airflow and performance. It's just part of the whole shebang with direct injection. Which brings us to our final thought. The 2023 to 2026 Chevrolet Colorado is a maybe. And it's kind of frustrating because in almost every way that makes a truck great, it completely excels. We've walked through the verified numbers, it drives better than its rivals, it tows more, it makes more torque, and the ZR2 is a genuinely brilliant off-roader. If reliability were a given, this would be an easy buy. But it isn't a given. The below-average ratings and the reports of early drivetrain trouble are real, and they turn what should be a slam dunk into a buy with your guard up proposition. If you want one, get the best maintained example you can find, confirm every recall is done, and treat an extended warranty as part of the purchase price. Does the sheer capability of 310 horsepower and 7,700 pounds of towing outweigh the realities of specialized off-road and direct injection maintenance? Bottom line, the best driving midsize truck here, as long as it holds together. Thanks for joining me on Buy or Buy, and keep asking the right questions.